Welcome to the 10-minute coding with Code Flash.
One of the key principles on creating a program is to identify on what are the specific input and react on what are the actual action to be made when a specific condition is true or false. Today, our topic is all about conditional statement using if condition and switch case statement. So first, we'll be creating a program that will be doing an operations in mathematical operations. These are what we call the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Here, we need to declare our public static void main since we are trying to develop a certain program in Java. This is all of these operations, such as this declaration of the class and public static void main, is one of the default functionality or default codes that we need to do in Java. In this line of statement, we are assuming that we will be having an input coming from the end user or from the user. So we use a scanner to get the data from the user. Declaration of a choice variable that makes our inputs choices will be tracked using with this variable. To inform the user on what are the operations that we are trying to do in the actual program, we need to give them an instruction on what are the inputs they need to press on the keyboard in order for them to perform this transaction or operation. On our code, we'll be doing choices 1 to 4 in order for us to do this functionality. 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, and 4 for division. To make our code more easier to understand, we'll be using a switch case statement, or the switch case statement is represented by the cases from 1 to 4 that shows the actual choices that we have already shown to the user. So all we have to do is to create a way that we keep track all of those input. So case 1, a switch case statement is represented by the switch option and a variable to track on. Take note that switch case statement is very advisable when we already know what are the inputs that the user will be providing us. So from that scenario, we'll be getting an input from the user, which is the choice, and then after that, we'll be getting the first number and second number in order for us to perform the mathematical operations. declaring a global variable which is result will make all of those operations be assigned its result to our variable that we have already declared. So simple as putting the sign for addition and having a subtraction with its sign. The fnum and snum will be, all of those results will be assigned to our variable named result. So after doing that, we need to keep track when to show the actual result of the operation. Basically, the result must be shown when the input from the user is from the range of 1 to 4. So later on we'll see what are the challenges or some errors that we have encountered on creating this program. But another case that we need to determine is that every time that we create a switch case statement, we are not limited to case only. We can also employ conditional statements such as if and else to make our code functional. Take note, if fnum is greater than or equal to snum, that would be the time that subtraction will be done. But if fnum is not greater than snum, therefore it will not create or it will not perform the actual operation, but rather it will inform the user that the first number must be greater than the actual value of the second number. Same goes with the operation of division. Now let's save the actual program and test it. Okay, so running the actual code shows that there are errors. So the import function need to remove the S. Then there it goes, it's running. So we need to check our program. Okay, showing. Although the result is not yet showing, so there is something wrong. Oh, there is it. The choice must be greater than not greater than but rather less than or equal to 4, and we need to have a AND operation wherein the choice must be greater than or equal to 1. Okay? So from that, you can see that the ACL operation is now working. Okay? So the next challenge that we need to identify is when to show the dialogue saying first number, second number, and third number. First number and second number. So it must only show if the choices that we selected is from 1 to 4. So how do we do that? In order for us to do that, we need to make the statement choice must be tracked on the printing of the choices for first num and second num. Okay, so another functionality that we need to put is the default case. The default case is when a user press other than the choices from 1 to 4, it shows a certain message, or it shows, or you perform another functionality, not only for printing, but if you can create a functionality, other functionality, you can put it on the default. Here, you will see that there will be an error because we already put the variables fnum and snum inside the if condition. So take note of the declaration of variables with respect to its current position. It might be global or it might be a local variable. If it's inside the if condition, it will be inside the if. It can only be accessed inside the if condition. So now let's check. Okay, running the code shows that all of those functionality is now working. Okay, an invalid input. Okay. Then here it checks. There you go. That's a simple way on how to use a switch case statement and an if condition with different functionalities that we want to perform. Thank you for watching and happy coding!